Hey everybody, it's the Dongle Bomber of Zelda World, and welcome back to our video walkthrough of The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. In the last video, we got back to the Ordon province, and we have to help out Midna, but if we want to save our friends. And here Midna mentions that we actually just can't run off and save them. She mentions that the area off to the side of the bridge is covered in Twilight, that giant wall like I mentioned earlier. So she basically, to get in, you need cooperation from someone who lives in the Twilight, or is from the Twilight. So Midna is the only one who can help us get back in. So she wants a sword and shield, so we're going to go ahead and get that for her. So yeah, we're going to be heading into Ordon Village to find a sword and shield, as we can't go into Faron Woods. Okay, so here's a new enemy. These guys are called Boblins. They go down pretty easily, but they are a bit more powerful than the Bokoblins. So be wary. They can take a bit more damage out of you than previous enemies in the game. We actually saw them run into the spring earlier when they knocked out Link and captured Ilea and Colin. Alright, so after you take out those two Boblins, you try to walk towards the forest. You see a character with green text talk, and it's actually a squirrel. All of the animals in this game have green text, and you can actually talk to the animals as a wolf. So it can give you a lot of help, as this squirrel mentions right here. If you're stuck, often talking to animals is actually very helpful. So basically the camera pans and sort of almost shows you what you have to do first, or at least where you have to go in this sort of shot right here. And here we have Hanch feeling all upset because he couldn't save his kids. But it doesn't matter. In any case, we want to walk head over this bridge to Jaggle and Pergy's house. And we'll see Mayor Bo talking, and he mentioned a shield. So we want to head slowly into the grass. As you can see, if you try to listen too far away, you won't be able to tell what they're saying. But if you get a bit closer, then you can read what they're saying. So basically, they just give away exactly where the shield is that we need to get. But Russ had a sword. Well, yeah. So they just mentioned the sword that Russell was going to present is at his house. So we pretty much know exactly where everything is right now. We need to get. The only problem is getting to it. I mean, we know where the houses are. As Midna says, it's not a bad bit of information we just heard. This village is full of idiots. I love how she's all sassy, you know, it's hard to everyone. She does warm up later in the game, but she's a funny character for that reason. This is where I really started to like her when I first started playing the game, because she makes sort of like a rude comment towards everyone. Now, no matter where you go, if you run past Hanch, he'll see you, and then he'll pick up some grass himself, some hawk grass, and call Hawk down to attack you, which is pretty bad. It can take quite a bit of damage out of you. So you want to quickly run away from it, otherwise you could easily be dead. As you can see there, that took half a heart away, which in later Zelda games is quite a lot. You can go ahead and talk to the cat, and it will give you advice on how to get rid of Hanch. It's kind of funny. I don't think that a wolf and a cat would be talking in real life for very long before the wolf ate it. Anyway, you can whoops, I messed up there actually. You can stand up on this rock and just, you know, as usual, fling up there with Midna, and kind of funny. You jump across right here and you'll just jump right in the water. Alright, now that will enable you to get up into the window. I actually didn't show this house earlier in Ordon Village, but it's no matter because we'll be coming back here later anyway. So as you can see, the shield's up there hanging on the wall, so you just smack into it twice and it'll fall down and you can pick it up. So it tells you how to use it, but we can't use it yet since we are in our wolf form, and Midna says it looks kind of cheap. Alright, so along the way out is through the window, so we're going to go ahead and do that. You get another cutscene, and giving us more hints about where the sword is. I always think it's funny how they highlight the text in Zelda games, all the important words, you know. It's not like necessary, but whenever I see the text like, you know, highlighted like that, I always like really makes me think, you know, this is Zelda. I know I'm playing Zelda. It's just a nice little touch that they add. It's not really necessary. Anyway, you don't want to get too close to Russell because he can attack you and do quite a bit of damage as well. So you want to run past him and dig right next to the logs. If you push the senses button, then you would have seen the sparkly ground there, and you'd be able to dig through either way. Walk over and pick up the sword, and now we have both of what Midna wants. So we're set. Now a lot of people wonder, can you get the sword before the shield? But actually, no, you can't. Like if you dig and you go in, the sword will just not be there on the couch if you try to get it before the shield. Okay, so after you have both items, there's really nothing more we can do. So you sort of want to just head right back out of Orange Village. Really, as a wolf, you can't do nearly as much as a human, so you're pretty much limited to just doing what the task ahead of you is, instead of collecting certain things like pieces of heart. So you just want to go ahead and do exactly what your task ahead of you is, and then you can get through the wolf part back to human, which is more fun in my opinion. It's more Zelda-like being a human. Feels like you're playing Okami as a wolf. So if you try to walk by, you'll hear a mysterious bodiless voice talk to you. And this is actually the spirit of the Ordon Spring. It's like a guardian spirit in many ways. Shadow being purchased. Well, if you remember from an earlier cutscene, these guys took over Hyrule Castle, and that portal thing up the top there that the King Bulbin created when he blew his horn lets out one of these creatures. So it's pretty simple. Just latch onto it with A in a forward attack, then just keep tapping A, and you do this twice, it will kill it. Pretty simple. And now we have a rather long cutscene coming up. So since we killed that shadow being, the spring is energized, and this light spirit is able to come out once again, as you can see right here. Pretty cool cinematics, actually, how they did this, and it seems like all of the light spirits in the game have that little ball thing somewhere. And this is actually Ordona, the spirit of Ordon, and it looks sort of like a glorified goat. It has the same connected horns, and it has not been consumed by Twilight, unlike the other ones, which Ordona will explain here, I'm pretty sure. Yes, yeah. Well, there's not much to say about this. Ordona's just really explaining what we've just done and how you have to sort of get back the power of light. And we have another cutscene right here. And this will show the spring in Faron Woods, where the shadow being's taken it over. Right there is the spirit of Faron. And all of a sudden, Twilight comes. So, pretty intense stuff, how it just happens so quickly like that. And that's basically our job right now, is to get rid of the Twilight in Faron Woods. Hence the title of the chapter, Faron and Twilight. So if we don't act fast, the one who holds the Twilight, which is Zant, of course. Well, if we don't stop fast, then if we don't stop him fast, then basically the whole world would be consumed in Twilight. Luckily, the Ordon province was not, but it could have easily been. Luckily, we showed up just in time to save the other three. Seems like we were destined to, as Ordona just told us. This is a nice version of the fairy fountain music here. I like how they revamp the song in each Zelda game. You know, it acts as the selection screen's menu theme for each of the games, pretty much since Ocarina of Time, at least. So Ordona has given us our task, but we're gonna have to start completing that in the next episode of this walkthrough, guys. This is Donongo Bomber, and I will see you in episode 4 of this chapter, where we will go to the Faron province.